It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso. You're live in S3. And let me introduce you to a South African talent. Now, when it comes to the SA jazz scene, this particular scene has produced some of the most influential and innovative guitarists of the 21st century. And there's a music maestro, Cameron Ward. He is fast on his way to becoming one of those legends with great improvisational skills and a tone that is unmatched. Cameron just knows how to get you bopping along to his jazzy African beat. And if you feel what I'm feeling, you're going to need to feel this as well. Take a look. I mean, that is just talent, so please give a massive welcome to Cameron Ward! Yes! Yo, Cameron, welcome, man.
Thank you so much.
I must be honest, I actually thought you were more of a Sergio, but Cameron works nicely for you. It's great. Anyway, no, dude, I'm actually very, very excited to chat to you today, because the thing is, I feel like if you're from the Lotus, the world must take notice.
Absolutely.
That's like a T-shirt that I want you to print.
I will do so.
Can you do that, man,
I will
if
do
you
so.
don't mind? Because the thing is, you know, Lotus River in Cape Town, it's a place that, it's a community that's been disenfranchised. It is, you know, it's been through the works, and of course, it's still, a lot of those things are still happening as we speak in that community, but you've risen up and you have decided to take on jazz. Now, growing up in that community, how did jazz bite you?
Well, jazz, when I got introduced to the genre jazz, it just got me instantly, and from the word go, when when I heard the first sound of jazz, that's when everything started for me, and that's where I fell in love with jazz.
There's something about it, isn't there?
Absolutely.
There's a rhythm to it.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like, you know, Sergio Mendes was one of those artists.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Right? Sergio Mendes is great. I know. Anyway, now from Lotus River to London, you've been on tour. You know, you've taken this talent of yours over to so many different places. Like, you know, take me through to like maybe one of the memorable moments of you taking the Lotus River jazz product that you have overseas.
Well, it started about 11 years ago when I started working with the late, great Brayu Masekela. And that is where everything started for me, and got to travel. And so one of my favorite places or countries that I got the opportunity to visit and share the gift that I have was in Brazil. And then when we got there, I was blessed and fortunate to play one of the songs called As Lekker Nie Lotus.
As Lekker Nie Lotus in Brazil, in Brazil.
Well, I took it there.
You took that?
As Lekker Nie
Portuguese.
Lotus. I took it to Portuguese. Fala Portuguese.
Fala Portuguese.
Yes.
And then you took it there.
I took it there.
And how was the response of the crowd when they look at you?
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Did anybody shout like away from the crowd, from the
No, I was hoping for that.
Like with at least once.
Yeah, but they just said Fala.
Fala makes sense. It's fine. Fala, Dala, it's the same thing.
Well,
if you think, you know what I'm saying? It works. But, you know, when it comes to, you just mentioned Brayu.
Yeah.
What was it like to connect and also just meet Brayu? I mean, that's a privilege on its own. And, of course, to get the influence from him that powers the future of your career, that must have been mind-blowing.
It was magical. I call Brayu the Masekela, the University of Masekela.
Oh.
I don't think there's any university that can teach one what I've learned from the great late Brayu Masekela.
Yeah.
So I will forever hold on to the memories that I've learned and cherished and shared with the late great Brayu Masekela.
You know, it's beautiful that you chat about that, because there is indeed that just aura, you know, about you, Masekela, and the legacy as well. But just going back to what you're doing, because you have to carry the baton over to what you are doing now. But your faith is also quite strong. So talk to me about how gospel meets jazz, which happens to be something that you have been working on and you want to launch quite soon.
Yes, absolutely. So I grew up in church. PPC in Afrikaans, Pinkster Protestante Kerk. That is where I fell in love with music, gospel music, you know, because I was raised in church. And then I studied music later on, which I learned the art of jazz. And then 2 years ago, I figured, you know what, why don't I bring the two together? I love gospel so much and I love jazz. Why don't we just connect the two and call it Gospel Meets Jazz? And there is where everything started. I decided to take some of the hymns that I grew up listening to as a child in church, and we put a salsa, some guma to it, and some African patanga feels to it. And then we came up with the product Gospel Meets Jazz.
There's a concert, isn't there? That's going to showcase it. When is that happening?
So it's taking place on the 14th of May in Retreat, New Hope SA Church. The concert is free because it's also my homecoming concert.
Oh, lovely, man.
So we'll be launching the album Gospel Meets Jazz. So I want everybody to come there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful.
It is indeed. Cameron Ward on the Feel Good Breakfast Show. He'll be entertaining you. And don't forget, take notice of the bra from Lotus. Hello.
Absolutely.